Yo, what is going on YouTube? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 19 of the Casual Weebs podcast. Listen, we're saved, boys. We are saved. Everyone's so worried. Content creators, anime viewers, that this season, this summer season, is going to be dud. It's going to be so slow and so boring. What are we going to do? We're going to watch. Anime content creators don't know what to talk about, what to make content off of. We are going to eat. It is not going to be as amazing with like the biggest names and so good as last season. Like last season was goated, but I feel like this season is going to be a lot more fun, if that makes sense. We're still going to have a lot of really good animes that have great stories, that are funny, that are just awesome. Way more variety this season, but also there's just going to be so much more to do. So we're going to be posting a ton of videos outside of the podcast. We dropped, it's Hulu overtaking Crunchyroll last week. Go check that out if you want some big name animes to just binge. I pretty much just talk about like the Hulu collection, and the anime collection there is insane. Hulu originals are really, really good animes, and not to mention High Dive is now working with Hulu and dropping some High Dive originals. So if you want to see Eminence in the Shadows, you want to see Oshinoko, you want to see Dark Gathering, a couple anime movies, and gonna be more, check that out. It is definitely worth it. We're also gonna be dropping Oshinoko, brilliant or a bust. We're going to be dropping first episode reactions for pretty much all of the new anime that started to come out in the summer season, kind of breaking down which ones are good, which ones are not that great, what are they about, so you can kind of figure out, hey, is this anime that might interest me? I might try this out. What animes have the best chance of being the most consistent throughout the season? I mean, if you're looking for new anime from this new season, that's going to be something to check out, and so much more. Like, we're going to have so much anime content dropping over the next several weeks. It's going to be absolutely insane. For the podcast, we have so much stuff to talk about. Some animes that are actually really good, that had really good at first episodes, have so much promise, and that honestly could have competed last season. They could have dropped last season and have done very well. So we are definitely in for a treat. It's going to be so much fun. I mean, in all honesty, it's going to be a blast. Blake, man, you've watched just a couple of animes from the season. What are you thinking about it?
I was excited, man. Like, I guess I can relate to everybody's like trepidation about the season. You don't know if it's going to be good or not, especially like it's tough to follow up last season, which was so good. You're right. Spring 24 was goated.
Yeah.
But like after watching a couple of like the pilots of some of these animes, I definitely think we're in good hands. And like you said, variety is always good. It's nice to mix it up. You don't want to just, constantly be watching shonens and the same type of tropes and stuff. So it's nice that we're getting a totally different change of pace and like a different vibe this season. There's some cool like romances and different stuff going on and just different environments. So I'm excited to see where it goes. There's definitely a lot that has me intrigued.
Yeah, there's a ton of romance. We're going to talk about Ayla hides her feelings in Russian. It's awesome anime. We're gonna be talking about some fantasy, kind of like Black Clover, mixed with a little bit of Demon Slayer animation with Wistoria. We have so many different kind of animes coming out this season. It's gonna be awesome. And Isekai that seems to have a lot of promise. Hopefully that does well. But yeah, there's gonna be so much. There's gonna be so much content to make this season, and again, so much to talk about. Like there's so many animes that like were shockers. Again, I was the same as everybody else. I looked at the list for summer animes, and I'm like, this does not look good. Like it doesn't seem that great. But then you watch the first episodes, and a lot of them hit hard that first episode. Like, again, we're gonna get into Ayla hides her feelings in Russian, but like Wistoria, dude, I didn't see that one coming up anywhere. I saw a clip on YouTube, and I was like, oh my god, this looks insane. And then I looked it up, and I watched the first episode. I was like, yo, this anime hits. For the people that want action, there's two animes that hold a lot of promise. Wistoria is going to be the number one. And then we have a lot of romance this season. I know me and you like a bunch of different genres, so it's going to be it's going to be fun. But getting into the first anime, I hide your feelings in Russian. What are you thinking about it? I love that our MC is just an absolute anime binger, gotcha game degenerate. I saw that, fucking loved it.
Dude, hell yeah. It's like a almost very relatable character. Like, he's not like super cringy or like a total like shut in. You know what I mean? Like he still has personality and stuff. Yeah, but like he still's got the waifu poster right next to his bed. Like, I feel you, bro.
You and I were destined to be best friends like we are.
Hold on, you just learned my name.
But like some of the scenes he was like pretty funny and like showed like decent personal skills. You know what I mean? He's not, like I said, a total nerd, but yeah. He definitely had me cracking up a couple times. It was very enjoyable.
Oh, dude, it was so amazing. I love the hot and the cold scenes where she's very like doesn't talk, very cold, very like teases him and kind of like makes fun of him, has his cold moments. But then I love how in Russian she just like flirts with him and hits him just with those crit hits and just gets him every time. Where she's like says something Russian, and he's like, "What would you say?" She's like, "I called you a dipshit," and it's like, really, she said, "I think you're so adorable," and he's just like, he understands it. He understands the Russian boys, so he's like, "Oh fuck, she knows I can understand that, right?" Like. And he's just trying not to react. I love those high and cold moments. It's just like it's such a nice contradiction or like blend.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And like having that tsundere character like kind of lets you in at times and like shows her feelings. I mean, I feel like we got a lot in the first episode, but that's always nice too. You don't want them to be like too cold and too tough on the MC, but like they definitely had a lot of good moments. Like you said, both ways, hot and cold. Like this, obviously the scene with the sock, you know what I mean? You go from 0 to 100 back to 0. But it just like is a good, I think, foundation for the relationship. If you're going to have a whole season worth of, these two characters as a focal point, I think it gets us off on like the right foot. And like I said, it's interesting, but they both have like a good first layer. We haven't found out too much about them, but they both seem like strong characters and not like too much of anything. You know what I mean? Not too hot, not too cold.
Okay, so two things. I have a theory about the whole layers thing. But the first thing too is like it's not even like she's necessarily cold. She's cold to everybody else, but like she's just teasing him. You know what I mean? I don't think that's cold towards him. Like she's just kind of like busting his balls and kind of like fucking with him. You know what I mean? Like it's not like she's being a bitch or like being cold to him and being like like nasty. It's like very like flirtish teasing. Mixed with the saying in Russian. Actually flirting, which is nice. But go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, like when you compare like that first scene when she walks in and gets hit on by like the most desired guy in school and immediately shuts him down.
That's cold. Even, like, that was a bit more cold. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely more like teasing, which I think it's like cute. You know what I mean? You can get with it. You can get behind her.
And then kicks him to wake him up, like, "Good morning," like, "Ohio," and he's like,
"Wake up."
And he's like,
when she points to the like wrong test question, or she points to the question rather than the answer. It's like, yeah, you know what you were doing right there.
He's like, "You asshole!" And she's like, "You should have been awake." I don't know what to tell you.
Paying attention.
Bro, I love her character design. Like, that if you meet someone like that, like, you're in trouble. Like, you're in trouble, bro.
Dude, absolutely. Those eyes are tough, man. You're not getting away from that.
It's also just like the personality with like the level of like teasing and like flirtation is just like it's like that perfect blend because like it's like I said, it's not like bad. It's not like bullying. It's not like being cold or nasty. It's just like it's like very like flirtatious. But like, going back to like the layers aspect of it. So we saw he had a dream, and that dream was a memory from his past. Girl on the playground, blonde girl, spoke Russian. That's where we found out he learned how to speak Russian because he wanted to speak to her, right? So he learned it. So we ended up seeing that. We ended up getting that little reminder, that little insight on him, right? Now, I think here's where things kind of go astray. He didn't really remember that. I think that girl is the same as the girl now. Even though the girl in the childhood was blonde and she has silver hair, I think they're the same. I mean, in Russian and Japan, I mean, it's just like, I feel like that's the easy answer, like obvious, like, oh, like they knew each other when they're really little. Here's my little twist on it where I think there's a little bit more layer to it. I think she remembers. And I think that she knows that he speaks Russian. I think when she says that stuff, she's not saying it like cocky, thinking that like, oh, I can say this and like he doesn't know. It's kind of like me fucking with him, like and pretending like I'm making fun of him, but really like I'm flirting with him. I think that she's doing that to fuck with him. I think that she's flirting with him and playing stupid, like, oh yeah, you don't know, but she knows that he knows that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because my little piece of evidence is that like that lunchroom. When she's jealous of them, of him and his childhood friend because they're a little close, and she's like, oh, you guys know each other, like don't know how I feel about this, a little jealous, and they were talking about like, oh yeah, like we were on the student council in middle school. She's like, you wouldn't know this, but like he can get shit done, and she spoke in Russian. You don't have to tell me, I already know that. Well, up until this point in that first episode, all he's done is just like be a weeb. You know what I mean? They just play gotcha games late to school, like sleeping in, that kind of thing. Although I think the one day he was like early when they were cleaning the classroom. But he never proved anything to show that. So I think the reason why she said that is because of him learning Russian when they were kids, when they were really little. Because he wanted to speak to her. So yeah, he got shit done. He learned Russian so he could speak with her. So that's why she's like, I know he can get shit done. Like he learned a language for me. Type thing.
That's really, really interesting because I actually had the I guess we don't
You
really
just cut
know.
out.
God damn it, dude. My internet, I can see it. Give me my bar back. That last bar back. I just paid the fucking bill today too. All right, all right. Focus. But like, I don't know. We don't know if it's a dream or a memory, like for a fact. But I had the same thought as you, that was also Alia, just as them as kids,
Yeah.
because I feel like she's teasing him, right? Like, I definitely agree with you. There's no way she would like memorize his name back then and be like a blonde Russian in Japan, which like they do. Their cultures do kind of mix a little bit just because of the proximity of like where they are.
Yeah.
But if you're blonde in Japan, you stick out. You know what I mean? It would not be a very forgettable person. And even if her hair changed colors to like silver, which I guess happens, she would still remember to some extent their relationship. You know what I mean? Because she was old enough, like you said. You took it a step further. I didn't really think like when she said that, like, oh yeah, she remembers the past, and it's more of a memory rather than a dream. And he might not remember it or like be 100% on it, but
Yeah.
she's no dummy, you know what I mean? Like she would definitely remember the name and like some of the memories and the words she used. Maybe I'm like reading into the subtitles a little too much, but when she sees them getting close, I forget the friend's name. But Kuze-kun's friend, she's like, "Oh, have you known each other long?" Not like, "Oh, are we friends?" You know what I mean? Are you guys friends? She was like, "Oh, have you known each other long?" And she was like, "Yeah, like we went to school together." And you can kind of see her get jealous and like she gives us like some of her emotions, like that sly smile with the sock. Like that was like a little more than sly, but she like kind of she's given us in at least this episode a few like looks into how she feels about stuff, regardless of how she words it. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So like the whole thing is that I think that like she remembers, but like he doesn't. That's why like it came up to him in a dream where like it just popped back in his head where he's like what was that? Because he even said he's like what was that? He had no recollection of it. Even though like he sort of did, because he's like I remember that girl. Like I remember I wanted to speak to her so bad. I learned Russian, but like he didn't like remember like necessarily anything else about her. Like it was kind of like there wasn't that like, kind of like connection, and it kind of like makes sense that she would remember because why does she like him? If she's cold to everybody else and kind of just like I'm not interested in anybody else, well why is she interested in our favorite otaku here? You know what I mean? Like what would do that?
Exactly.
And our man learning Russian at like the age of 5 for her, that would do it. Yep. That
The
like
flex.
like you know that like you can see like what he did like when they were younger, like the way that they like play and hang out and joke around and laugh, and then he learning Russian for her. She's probably like really scared. Like it seems like she moved
Sure.
to Japan, didn't know like really how to speak to anybody, and here's this kid, you know, learning her language to speak to her. I can see how you can fall in love with that person even a decade later. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of the connection of why she's like has feelings for him. Maybe she ended up leaving again. Maybe her parents, or maybe something where the job made it so they came into the country and then they left. She got like silver hair, then came back or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe she had it when she was a kid, but like she was insecure about it, so she just dyed it blonde. I don't know. Not important. We'll figure that out later. But I think that she definitely remembers. That's why she's in love with him, and I think the whole thing with her speaking Russian is to fuck with him.
I definitely think you're right on. Also, I wish there was like a compilation of it, but the last 4 or 5 weeks, you've been like on a fucking roll with your predictions. So
Bro,
I feel like we're
you've been saying that. I feel like I've been off. I feel like I've missed a couple.
Nah, I feel like you're right on the head. You definitely nailed some shit for kaiju. Like we were pretty spot on.
Well, I'm
Um,
worried because you said nail stuff for kaiju, but in the manga. You said you read the manga, like, oh, dude, you hit a few. I'm like, I said a lot of shit.
well, I'll reframe it. Your intuition is very good. We'll leave it at that. Your gut instinct.
We're gonna leave it alone then, so we don't want to do spoilers. Because I'm lost and I don't want clarity. All right, but
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, like I definitely think she remembers, and like the only other little, I feel like after you've watched enough anime or you consume a ton of movies or you read a ton of books, like you get a little bit better foresight, or like you see like a quick scene or like a facial expression or body language and you're like, oh, maybe it's this, crime documentaries or whatever.
Yeah.
When like the light bulb goes on at the park after she kisses him on the cheek, like that would be something that says like, yeah, she remembers. I think she's not like showing us her full hand, but I agree with you. I definitely think she remembers, and it's more than just like a playful teasing friendship at school.
And it's funny too, the interaction with that, because he even said, he's like, what if I told her I knew? And it showed like his imagination. I just killed a second fly. That was
Hell
fucking
yeah.
sick. He showed like his imagination of her being like so embarrassed, like the puff of smoke out of her head, like, oh my god, I can't believe you knew this whole time. But in reality, bro, she's doing that to you. Like, how does she not notice your reactions if she didn't know that you spoke Russian? When she's just like, "You're adorable," like, "Oh, you're so adorable." And like, bro, you just clearly gave away that you understood what she said with your
And then he
reaction.
gets all red, and then she literally
Yeah,
says, "Oh, you're as red as a baby." That is a dead giveaway. But like, I guess she knows, yeah, that he's hiding that he knows he can speak
yeah.
Russian, and she's totally just taking advantage of it.
But like, here's the thing. Here's the thing now. Like, where does this go? You know what I mean? Where does this go? Like, the girls obviously after the guy, and it's just like the best friend from middle school. I don't think that she's gonna be a problem. I don't think that she's gonna intervene or kind of be a part of this. It's kind of like that's the one thing I am worried about this anime, and I was talking about it in my first episode reactions video, where it's like the cover looks very like etchy harem-y. And the first episode
Yeah.
doesn't show that though. The first episode actually makes it seem like this is a legit anime, a great story, romance, well-rounded, comedy, wholesome, adorable, great, right? Like, where does it go from here? Because does the middle school best friend just have feelings for him and that becomes a thing, and then another girl's introduced? Like, how does the story play out between him and this other girl that were childhood friends? Like, I want to see, especially because it's like first episode, boys, it can go anywhere. I want to see it continue with the path of just them and kind of have it be like Horimiya type. I would love that. If this anime was more of like a Horimiya type between those two, amazing. But it can fall off a cliff. It can take a wrong direction for sure, which I'm worried about.
You're definitely right. Like I had that thought too. Like the first episode is intriguing. Like it's got a good storyline and good characters. Like I'll definitely be back for a couple episodes. But I mean, that's with anything. You know how it goes. Like stuff can fall off midway through the season, or the plot just never really like comes together fast enough, and people drop it. For me, I'm definitely with you. Love Tori Mia, and like I would rather get something in that world or that vein rather than like see a harem style competition for who can win the gotcha MC guy. Like the middle school friend, if I had to guess, like my episode 1 super early prediction would be that she doesn't have like feelings for him. She does because they're friends, right? And she knows he's a good dude, he's capable. Like they do have a relationship, but it's not like romantic. But I don't know how that will affect Alya, and I think if I'm literally just totally speculating, I think that will push her and we'll see more scenes of them like maybe hanging out, or she'll see them out in public, you know what I mean?
A little bit
And
of
then it'll push
jealousy.
her, yeah, and it'll push her to like confront her feelings, and like, or she'll get into a situation where she's asking and he'll be like, yeah, why do you care? You know what I mean? Like, and I would be cool with
Yeah.
that for like a couple episodes, but I'd like to see it develop at least like midway to the end of the season. Like I don't even want to call it a relationship, but their friendship, their relationship.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I again, that's what we hope for. We hope it stays like a good anime that has like a great story and kind of like awesome interactions, and it's just sweet like that. Really, really, really hoping for that. But like you were kind of going based off of what you're kind of saying too, is that like she kind of forced that already with their friendship. Of kind of like, oh, like I don't know what girl would want to be with you, because he kind of said at the end, he's like why would you care that we're friends? He's like, well, I didn't think any girl would want to be friends with someone like you. And she's like, and she's like,
He's
me?
like, there's one right here. It's like, ooh,
and she's just like, we're friends. He's like, are we not? And she's like, no, we are.
not?
And it just fucking turns and just smiles, and you have that cute interaction where it's like exactly what you're saying, but like on that friendship level first, and like hopefully it takes that turn, because like that was super wholesome. I loved that scene. That was awesome. I love the way he did it, where he was just like are we not friends? Like it's like you, like what are you talking about? And just her reactions, I thought it was super nice. I think that it can be such a good anime. Please, 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 please don't fall apart. Please, 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 please.
I'm very confident. Like, I think it'll be good. You know what I mean? Like, you have a
Yeah.
good foundation and a good direction for it to go. That's not to say, it could go left or right or up or down or sideways, but I'm confident. It's promising. And it's been a while since we had like a really good popular romance. And I'm trying to think of like the last one that was like really mainstream. And it feels like it's been a minute. So hopefully,
popular romance that was mainstream. The Sign of Affection. I'd say. I'd say
Okay,
Sign of
yeah,
Affection.
yeah. I haven't really like
That was
haven't
right
kept up
before
with
we
too,
started the podcast. I think
which would have been like winter 23. You know what I mean?
it
So
was
I
good.
guess maybe not to like over good, um, like rom com of the season or the first good romance of the season. Like I'm confident it'll be that and it will deliver. So if you were gonna dive into a couple or one this season, that would be the one I would put my money on. Alia
Same.
seems good.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I love it. But kind of getting to like a little speed around here about some of the other animes that we've watched and kind of we talked about. Wistoria is definitely one of them. Now here's the thing: me and Blake kind of like hopped on a call. We looked through all the animes and we kind of made a little list of stuff that we want to just kind of like check out and all the new stuff. Wistoria was not on that. I saw a little short of it and I was like, this looks fucking insane. So I watched it. So Blake didn't see it. Wistoria is probably something we're gonna talk about every week though. It's literally Black Clover. People said it was like mixed with Mashal. I think that's the anime that's called. I haven't seen that anime, but people are saying it's like Black Clover mixed with that. I think with a little sprinkle of Demon Slayer, where it just has great animation and then has scenes like random scenes that is just flawless. That you're like, oh my god, like that is beautiful. Amazing anime. It's going to be amazing. If it falls apart, it'll be the most botched anime ever. It had one of the strongest first episodes. The anime was breathtaking. The story is sick. The action is amazing. It's not just all romance here, boys. Like Wistoria is gonna have phenomenal action. We've talked about like we like certain animes, but we'll have like things that we critique. Wistoria is like Black Clover, but just done a bit better. I feel like Black Clover gets kind of hypocritical. World without magic, magic. I mean, world full of magic. Magic's everything. A boy doesn't have it, but he has anti-magic. You know what I mean? These kids are commoners. Actually, they're from royal blood. You know what I mean? It's just back and forth.
Yeah.
Wistoria stays on track with that. It has that imagine the Wizard King. Imagine there's multiple. So like the highest level of wizard, there's like I think 5 or 7 of them, and it's deemed some title, but they stay up in this tower and they guard all over. This kid and this girl, childhood friends, decide, hey, we're gonna become the greatest mages and we're gonna earn that title. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna do it together. It's gonna be great. Kind of like Kaiju 8 with Mina and Kafka. Just like with Mina and Kafka, the girl's insane, a prodigy, and also works very, very hard and becomes the youngest to do it. The guy, kind of a dipshit. Like, not really, not really in both cases, but this MC is like very intelligent. He can't use magic at all, so how is he gonna become the best mage? Well, this anime, which I really like, focuses on different aspects of magic. So the practical, actual use of magic he can't do, but the theoretical and that kind of aspect of magic, he's very, very intelligent. One of the smartest kids in the school. Not only that, but he's like super strong, really fast, and really good at observing. So like he can read a battlefield so easily, read an opponent so easily, and he's a fucking beast with a sword. So he's very smart. He's pretty strong, and like I was telling Blake, he hasn't seen it yet, so I'm not going to spoil it. But there's one scene that like it just plays in my head. I'm going to say what it was from. The two teachers are meeting up and they're watching him fight. It's what the teacher that's on his side says is one of the coolest things. So that's a little spoiler, or a little teaser. But it's a great anime. The animation's great. The story looks like it's gonna be phenomenal. This kid trying to rise up and become one of the best, and he has so many struggles. Everyone's kind of snobby, but they have one girl that's not his childhood friend who's really nice to him, and it seems like it's gonna be really, really good. I think it's gonna be amazing, and I think it's actually gonna be an anime that actually kind of blows up and becomes big. I don't think it's gonna reach the level of like Kaiju 8, but like Windbreaker level. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's
That's
gonna be
sick. Yeah.
actually I think it can surpass Windbreaker because Windbreaker had phenomenal animation, like a really cool art style, but like a great story, great fight scenes, but it's just so slept on. I think because Wistoria has better animation and it's in a slower season, it's going to have way more popularity than Windbreaker did. So it's going to have
Good
that
point.
same level, but it's going to have more eyes on it. So that makes me super excited that we're going to have a new big anime that's going to have multiple great seasons being birthed right now. And I think it's going to be great. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited to check it out. I didn't just from like the clip you told me and kind of the synopsis, it definitely seems super interesting. And I'm always a fan of not even just like the main character, but like our main group or MC that like uses his brain and is like intelligent and uses tactics rather than just being like on an OP team or having some like legendary power or ability or whatever, especially in like a magic setting. I think it's easy to do that. Like I'm a fan of Black Clover and like Asta's cool, but like it's cool
Anti-magic is
because
a
I'm a,
hypocrite thing.
yeah, and like as you get to the end of Black Clover too, it's just like it feels like an ass pull. Like I do like the story, but like yeah, it's an easy out, which I'm sure we could point out quite a few of those and hypocrisies or whatever you want to call them in anime. But I'm excited
Yeah.
to see it, and I think you're exactly right. It would really be cool to see like a new hit anime that kind of breaks through this season, just because it'll have a lot of eyes on it, or maybe compared to the romance anime excels in its own genre. So I'm excited, man. I'm definitely hyped to check it out.
Yeah, and it's sick because it's kind of like with Kaiju 8, where it's like, oh, this person's brilliant. They're really smart, kind of like Kafka, except they actually have like the combat to back it up. Like, the kid's strong. Like, it's insane. So, like, that's the one thing where you watch and, like, okay, this story seems really great. Great character designs. Animation is phenomenal. And then you see that first action scene, and you're like, holy fuck. Like, where did that come from? Like the
Pulls
action
you in.
scenes are actually really good and really entertaining. But to kind of speak on that as well, he does seem a bit OP because like part of that speech, that cool moment that the one dude was saying is that like this kid's not normal. Like he has traits about him that like you don't see in people. Like the kid is insanely fast. He doesn't have normal human speed or strength. And like his IQ is like on another level. Like the way he observes a situation and also like maybe his intuition is like very on point. Like the way he's able mid battle to break down an opponent and read a battle scene yeah, a battlefield is like on another level. So like he's not like a normal human being, but like it's not in a way that feels OP. Like he definitely has people that can kick his ass. He definitely has people that are way above him. Like he's definitely not even close to being the strongest. Like that's my like take with Black Clover is like when you have anti magic, it doesn't matter how powerful you are magic wise. Just dink, hit with a sword, negated. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter with this kid, he's still
Yeah.
strong, still stands a chance, but you still need to grow. You still need to get so much stronger, and you still need to overcome a lot of obstacles. So I think it's going to be like an absolute sleeper of an anime. It's going to be really cool, and it actually kind of reminds me of if you're a real degenerate, if you've seen this, and not because it's like an inappropriate anime or anything, just because it's like low key. It's like that Seven Spellblades anime from a couple of seasons ago. Kind of reminds me of that as well. Kind of reminds me of that. So if you've seen that, you watch too much anime. But what's up? I
Yeah.
think you're cool.
Hell yeah. Real recognize real. I'm excited to see it because like every anime like it's tough to build like a really good MC or like start off on the perfect footing, to a season or your pilot episode, but like having an MC that's strong, intelligent, and like not a total weakling that has to start from the bottom rung, I think it's always easy to get attached to. You want to root for like a good, cool, strong character, but like you also want room to grow and like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, progression, not just with the character, but with the story as well. So that sounds like it's setting up very nice, and I'm super pumped to watch that first episode.
Dude, you're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, dude, it's fucking
This is
something
sick.
else. Like it is
Hell
something
yeah.
else. And like I feel like bad comparing it to Black Clover or to other animes because like, dude, this is its own anime. Like it
Yeah, but still to give it like a comparable or like something
yeah.
you can be like, okay, yeah, magic. Like
But
I
like
know.
you'll watch it, you'll be like,
Mashal feels like a good way to like paint the picture.
I gotta watch that. Apparently it's like almost over already. Like I like heard about it for like half a second and people are like, oh yeah, it's like ending. I'm like, what? Is it like this is a
Quick
sleeper.
burn.
Yeah, it was a quick
It
burn.
was pretty. I watched like the first couple episodes, but I never really got too far into it. But yeah, like you can, if you told somebody that and they had seen it, it like paints a very distinct picture of like
Yeah.
what the world would be like, I guess.
A lot of people said it, and I know a lot of people like Mashal, so like I take their word for it. I'm like, okay, like it makes sense. Like I'll believe you, type thing. You know what I mean? But like you'll watch this anime and you'll be like, yo, this anime like it really is kind of like on its own because it just does everything so well. Like I love Black Clover. I really do enjoy the anime. But like it it completely dummies it. Like the only thing to me that Black Clover kind of like has against Wistoria is the cast, like Yami and all the other characters. I love the characters in the world of Black Clover, but like the combat
That's
it
fair.
outperforms it in Wistoria. The combat's so much better. I think the story's better. I think the animation's better. Like, so that's why it's kind of tough because it's like you just gotta watch it and you'll be like, yo, this is a damn good anime. Like this is
Hell
a
yeah.
good anime. And then you think like we were worried about this season with this. This is here. And we were worried about the season.
Yeah, very true. And I think like as we've kind of like started diving into some of these, even similar to last season, you're like, all right, this is sick. This has a cool plot. Like, I'm excited to see how the rest of this comes together this season. So I think if I had one recommendation, it would be just like dive into something, pick like a show or two, and just check it out. And if it's not your cup of tea, check something else out because there's definitely a lot of like you said, low key anime that's gonna end up being really good.
Yeah, guys, 3 episode rule. It's a rule for a reason. Watch the first 3 episodes. You need to sometimes. It really is a necessary kind of thing to do because like the first episodes don't always hit, and sometimes they hit, but then they don't follow through. You know what I mean? It can go either way. That's why you gotta be careful.
Or like on anime like Solo Leveling, I felt like the first 6 to 7 episodes, and then the recap on 7 or 8. Like it was a really slow first half of the season. Like you get progress, but if you didn't stick around to the end, you would have missed all the best content from that
Yeah.
season. So like it is important to kind of ride it out, and at like 23 to 30 minutes an episode, like I don't think it's that bad. If you're interested, like take a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. And then real quick on this one, failure frame. If again you like action animes and you don't like romance animes, first of all, I doubt you made it this far in the video. Listen to us go against Ayla and stuff like that. But failure frame does seem really cool. People compare it to another anime. I haven't seen it. Don't even know what the anime is, but I have to look it up because this first episode was sick. And if it's just like that type of anime, I should go watch that because I'll probably enjoy it. Pretty much, it's kind of like Rise of the Shield Hero, in my opinion, where it's like the MC is just like a great dude that gets absolutely shit on by everybody. The world around him blows. Everyone sucks in this anime. You hope they all die. It's one of those animes where you just want to see the MC snap and just fucking get his revenge. Pretty much gets isekai'd, told he's super weak, and they're like, hey, instead of killing you, we're just going to throw you in this maze type thing. We're going to, like, pretty much send you to your death. If you survive, we'll leave you alone, though, but you're not going to survive. Survives. He hasn't yet, but like I don't think they're gonna kill him. It's the MC. But it seems like it's gonna be good. A lot of people were saying that, hey, this seems like super promising. Let's give it the first 3 episodes. Let's see. Hopefully it continues. I really hope it does well in the first 3 episodes. Animation style's a little different, but I like it. I like the anime. I think it's good. It has CGI, which people are a little iffy about and get a little weird about in anime, but first episode's promising. We'll see how the second episode is, and probably we'll start talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited. And like we've all seen very fucking bad CGI, but I feel like CGI has also been done well. So like I try not to like I don't hate on it. You know what I mean? It's also cheaper and easier alternative to like some animation styles and drawing stuff in and adding scenes, which I love. We all love extra animations and extra freebies, but CGI works really well sometimes, and I hate when people poo-poo it because I definitely have seen that more than a handful of times.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be good. We'll see how it is. We'll definitely give it the second episode, and again, it might be something that we end up talking about on the podcast. I think for sure, 100%, All Your Hides Are Feelings in Russian and Wistoria are gonna be the 2 things that we talk about consistently every week. But other than that, we're gonna kind of bounce around and kind of have fun and kind of talk about whatever has been good that week. So it's gonna have a little bit of variety, which is gonna be a lot of fun and a little bit more freedom. Which
which
cool.
I think is and it's perfect for this season because you don't have like 3 or 4 super heavy hitters that are like dominating the audience that people are watching, which I mean you always have like some long running things like One Piece or My Hero, but they're kind of like we were talking about, they're not like screamers every episode where something that's only got 12 episodes to like pull fans in I feel like is a little more exciting at times, and it's always nice to find something on the first season you were kind of in on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were there early, especially like again, everyone was kind of like freaking out this season, thinking that like, oh, the season's gonna suck, there's gonna be nothing to do, and it's like, yo, you actually give some of these animes a chance, and it's like, it's good, you know what I mean? There's some sleepers here for sure.
Hell yeah, I'm very excited to see how this season unfolds. I would say my confidence is very high, kind of week 1,
Yeah.
for some of these animes, but we'll see like week 5, week 6 how we're feeling.
Oh,
Hopefully we're
dude.
like we're still rocking.
It could easily fall apart, or some of these can also really turn around and actually have really good seasons. So it can be hit or miss, and it can go either way, which is it makes it fun. It's probably like gotcha
Exactly.
games. It's kind of like gambling with anime this season.
Yeah, but either way, we're gonna have fun with it, even if we're pulling 4 stars.
I love that, man. I love that. Listen, is there anything else we want to talk about this episode? I mean, we're gonna be talking about some different animes as well. It's just kind of like let's give it an episode or two to see how they turn out. Give Blake some time to also catch up on some of these, and then we're gonna be talking about more each podcast episode. But yeah, is there anything else you kind of wanted to talk about?
My wife has no emotion was very strange. I'm not
Yeah.
hating to anybody that enjoys it, or if you want to check it out, please do. But the premise of that, I think, is adverse to what we need in society. So I would say it's weird. You know what I mean? It's rubbing me a certain way, and yeah, was it not the best episode 1 to check out? You know what I mean? I missed my pilot there.
That's interesting because I saw some people were all talking about like how it was like they thought it was pretty good, but also like it seems like it was mistitled because it seems like apparently the wife, the robot wife, apparently like has human emotions possibly,
He like picks up really quick and is like, so he literally like walks in the door and is like, I bought an appliance, but like it's obviously like a housekeeping robot.
yeah,
But then, first episode, dude just gets fucking hammered like twice after work because he has like a shitty job where he works all day, comes home late, so he doesn't have time to do that stuff. So like I get it. 5 minutes and 10 seconds into the episode, I think it was, he's like, yeah, you should be my wife. It's like, all right, brother, take it easy. We've got a whole season for you to do this shit. And like I don't know. It moves pretty
bro,
quick.
skip to
as
the
far as, like,
ending.
yeah, pretty much. Like, and they do pretty quickly at the end of season 1, or episode 1. But yeah, very strange. And she also has that like the whole time she has like a line across her forehead.
Yeah.
Just thought Kenjaku the whole time. And if, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I don't need to see where this goes.
Yeah, it's like it seemed like it was gonna be interesting. I'm pretty sure I'm the one who suggested that. We should have watched that.
It seemed
I
good,
bailed
like-
on it.
Dude, I watched the second. I was like,
watch the first
man.
episode.
I was like, I wonder what Jake thinks of this. It's very, very odd. This guy's like getting, he's like flirting with this robot.
Bro.
But she does like pick up on it. Like it's executed well in the sense that she's like learning, and they go to like a picnic and stuff. Like she is picking up on human emotion, even though
Yeah.
she's not. Like I can respect that, but I do not need this like AI world to be brought to life because people think this is like viable.
Bro, what's it called? We did each other so dirty this week. So I'm the one who recommended. I was like, oh yeah, this anime, Wolf Has No Emotion seems like it would be kind of good. Like I don't know, maybe. And then like I just like didn't even watch the first episode. I was like, I saw clips from the second episode. Like this kind of looks like shit. Like I don't know how I feel about it. I'm like, all this other anime seems really good. I'm just not gonna watch it. Blake watched it. He's like, this fucking blows. Blake was like, hey man, let's watch My Dear Friend Inokotan. Blake didn't watch it. He's like, I can't sit through this. This is fucking awful. And here's me forcing myself to watch it because I'm like, oh, Blake wants to see it. So then I suffered through that, which like isn't like bad. It's brain rot, so it's bad but funny. So
Yeah,
we
true.
screwed each other.
It's definitely better than the guy asking his robot wife or she's like asking if
know.
he's sexually aroused, like while he's drunk.
What?
Oh yeah, no, she climbs into bed with him. Episode 1 she didn't sleep with him, but we're moving quick here.
Bro, we literally did each other dirty with these animes. You're pretty much like, I was pretty much like, watch this and suffer, and you're like, okay, watch this and suffer. Like, good trade.
Are you one dear waifu anime?
Bro, the anime is so fucking weird.
Yeah, it is strange. Some decent scenes, but yeah, odd.
I was telling you earlier, like, I started playing Elden Ring on stream, so if you want to see me hate myself, check that out.
Hell
I haven't
yeah.
played a Souls game. It's been miserable. My buddy plays a lot, so he's like, "Oh, dude, let me come over. I'll coach you. Like, I'll walk you through some of the stuff." He loves the game, so I was like, "All right, bet." He came over the second I finished watching the episode, and I was like, "Dude, you gotta fucking watch this." And I started playing him a couple of clips from like the episode, like scrolling through it, and he's like, "Bro, what the fuck is this?"
What are you watching, dude?
This is the most brain rot shit ever. The CGI deers that just look so out of place. Like what?
Yeah. It's like almost comical, but like yeah, it just boils down to brain rot for me. Like the CGI deer on like this kind of like cutesy landscape was very funny to me. But
It was
like
hilarious.
yeah, it's funny, it's cringy, but like it definitely does not work that well.
Yeah, dude, her antlers detecting shit. Like, I detected that you're a delinquent, and she also detected that she's a virgin. Just telling the whole class.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like okay, all right.
her antlers like are like the like undercover cops or something, like detectives, just like able to figure out all this random shit. The deer snacks as well. She's like
Yeah,
drooling.
it's these like transcendent senses.
Like, bro, me and Blake came at each other this week for sure. I don't know what the fuck that was, but it was funny.
I was gonna say we're having fun. For even week one, we're off to a good, enjoyable start.
Yeah, and that's what we were gonna say, and like that's the thing too that like you got to keep in mind. And
Ouch.
like, you okay?
Yeah, I cut myself and I just touched it. I'm just a bitch, actually.
That is the one thing that like we talked about, and like is a good thing to know, is that like guys, like go into some of these animes and don't take them seriously. Don't go into them thinking that they're gonna be this home run blockbuster god tier anime and then be instantly disappointed. Go into them, be like, let's see what this is. Let's see what it is for whatever it's gonna give us. It's either gonna be good and it's gonna be like, yo, fuck yeah, like we're gonna watch this and like we're actually gonna like follow this and talk about this on the podcast. It's gonna be great. Or this is gonna fucking suck and we're gonna have a really good laugh about it. And that's kind of like what we
Yeah.
did this week. And we got the surprising animes. I was like, yo, I did not expect this. I did not expect this many like great first episodes. And then also we had a lot of laughs because some of these were fucking brutal. Some of these
Yeah,
were
and even
really
in
bad.
like I feel like in almost everything, there was like a couple good comedy scenes. Like there's definitely gonna be a lot of laughs this season. We'll see how the romance stuff plays out, but like either way, we're gonna have fun and there'll definitely be a lot of enjoyable moments.
Yeah, and again, I had that video coming out probably the day after this about like my reactions to the first episodes. I reacted literally to so many, including How to Become Ordinary, Pseudo Harem, uh, so many of these like romance animes that like have kind of like quirks to them. It's really fun. Like the Pseudo Harem one's so fucking cringy, but it's like so funny at the same time. This girl's like a phenomenal actress, and she likes the MC, so she acts as these different like personalities for his harem. So she has like a tsundere a personality that she'll pretend like she is, or like a spoiled one, a cool one where she like, or I guess a yandere one where like she's like very cold. Like it's just like very cringy but funny. Same thing with the How to Be Ordinary one. The How to Be Ordinary one, I don't, doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. Don't understand it at all. But the whole episode, the girl wanted to get sweets, right? Like pastries, and
Sure.
it was funny because everyone was fucking dying. Like in the comments, it was like, "Bro, that ending was devastating." Like, "Oh my god, bro!" Like so fucked up. The end of first episode like that. What ended up happening is they somehow luckily got to this place by the end of the episode, got the pastries, got the last two. Someone stole the bike and just took the pastries and fucking threw them. And the girl's just sitting looking at her like strawberry shortcake or whatever it was on the ground, or like strawberry tart. She's like devastated, just like devastated.
Absolutely.
I was like,
Heartbreak.
bro, like what a way to end. Like I feel like that ending like brought the anime back because the anime is like super confusing and like what the fuck is this? But like that ending was just like so like amazing in its own way. Whereas like it's funny to like make fun like, oh, like it was so devastating, but like at the same time it was like I had like humor and like wholesome. So you also like feel bad. Like that's all she wanted, man. She just wanted her
Yeah.
fucking seasonal pastry that she can't get anymore. And she finally got it and got two of them. Dude, she was writing in her notes like, "Oh, I'll have," because like the guy doesn't like pastry, so he's like, "I'll go. It's limited to one person, and I'll give you mine, so you have two." She's like, "Oh, tomorrow at breakfast, I'll have a little bit of the second one." She's like so excited, and then you see it just thrown on the ground, and she's just devastated. You're like, "Bro, like low key though, that was devastating. Like that was so hard." I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
it's like, oh, like you just. But dude, there's so many animes out there. Like honestly, check out that video coming out tomorrow. Check some of these out. Watch anime and fucking don't take them seriously. It's either gonna be good or it's gonna be a good laugh. You know what I
Hell,
mean? So it's gonna be a great season. Ton of fun, both watching anime and also the content we're gonna be dropping. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are enjoying the season. Blake, anything else you want to say?
yeah, don't take shit seriously. It's gonna be a lot of fun this season. We were in awe of last season, but now we're gonna take the reins and enjoy it. All of it.
Dude, It's going to be great. So hope you guys are enjoying. If you guys are watching an anime that's coming out this season 2 already, or not season 2, but it's coming out this anime season, and you're enjoying it, let us know down in the comments below, because we didn't talk about all of the anime, even in the video I'm dropping. It's like there's so much that are coming out, especially like Oshinoko season 2, some other animes having season 2. I think Fairy Tail's dropping something, so there's still plenty to come out. I think there's a Romance Degenerate one that we haven't seen yet. It's coming out in a couple days, so maybe we'll talk about this. What's the Love is Indivisible by Twins or something like that? That looks so stupid but could be so funny.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's another one where we're gonna watch the first episode, not take it serious. Maybe it's good, maybe it's a good laugh, and we can joke about it. But that is it. Hope you guys are enjoying, and peace.
Peace.